welcome guys to the spectacle that is NXT Takeover in England. My name is Kaisah Wrestling, and I am coming to you with the first ever NXT Takeover event here on Universe Mode, as we are headlining with Samoa Joe taking on Magnus for the NXT Championship. Well guys, we're going to be opening the main show of NXT TakeOver with a little bit of tag team action as DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are going to get their opportunities at the NXT Tag Team Championships against the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. So these two men have beaten the Revival on many occasions on NXT, so they're coming in this match with a lot of hype and a lot of momentum. So the question is, could they get the actual challenge done? The titles are on the line. They've beaten Dash and Dawson twice. Will they be able to do it with the championships on the line? So there goes Gargano and Ciampa. I'm here today with Corey S. You may know him from the channel Corey Short, Call of Duty Black Ops videos.
What's up, y'all?
He wanted to be here to witness the greatness that is NXT TakeOver. And here comes the top guys, the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. So these two men, they've been really impressive on NXT, but I think the last episode of NXT kind of thwarted the momentum of the tag team champions because they did lose to TM 6-1. But they promised today that they're going to deliver the hurt to Gargano and Ciampa to kind of get a little bit of revenge for their loss. So if I was DIY, I would not be really happy right now because these two men are looking to make an example. So these two have been the champions on NXT for a very long time. Can Gargano and Ciampa be able to end the Revival's reign? So we have 7 matches on the NXT TakeOver match card. This right here is the first of 7 great matches to come. Also, we're highlighting that fatal 4-way TLC match, #1 contender match, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode, and Elias Sampson. That and a whole bunch more to come today. Cruiserweight Championship on the line. TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick, followed by Samoa Joe taking on Magnus for the NXT title. So there goes. Now they're kind of introducing the two teams. That's Gargano and Ciampa. We all know who they are. And there goes the tag team champions as we're going to go right into this match. Who is going to be leaving NXT TakeOver, the first ever NXT TakeOver on this Universe Mode with the NXT Tag Team titles? And there goes the bell. This is going to be Gargano starting out with Dash Wilder. So now Dash Wilder starting out, grabbing the arm of Gargano, holding him down. So the Revival with a little bit of something to prove today because they have not had the wins that they needed to show that they are the top guys on NXT. So I think getting a victory over DIY will definitely put them back in people's minds, saying these guys are the best tag team in the world. So there goes a neck breaker by Gargano. One thing that we could say about Johnny Wrestling is that he's been very impressive. He did compete in the NXT Championship tournament in the first round. He lost to Bobby Roode, but he did a really good job. It was a pretty fast match, but Gargano had a lot of offense against the glorious superstars. So maybe Johnny Wrestling may be thinking of going for a singles career if he was to lose this match against the Revival, but we do know that DIY is an awesome tag team. It'll be great to have them as tag team champions over on the yellow brand. So a lot of momentum going into this NXT TakeOver pay-per-view as we had a monumental week for 205 Live and NXT. The finals of the championship tournament took place in a steel cage. Magnus, Elias Sampson, Magnus leaving with the victory that day. As there goes Gargano showing the athleticism. And I think Dash Wilder's going for a ride. There goes a side pseudo suplex there by Johnny Wrestling. He's going to be making the tag to Tommaso real quick. And here comes the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. And this is kind of the strategy that TM 6-1 used in their match against the Revival on NXT. They kind of isolated one member of the Revival, and that's kind of what made the Revival have less of a chance to win. Because I think Dash Wilder was the one who got pinned in the ring. He just had nothing left. As now Scott Dawson was thinking about tossing Tommaso off the top rope, but that's not happening today. As now here comes Dash Wilder trying to come back into this match. He needs to tag in Scott Dawson very badly. So as I was saying, monumental week, 205 Live NXT. And if you guys missed that humongous main event between TJ Perkins and Samoa Joe on 205 Live, I encourage you to see that match. One of the best matches in 205 Live history. As now Scott Dawson tossing Tommaso against the rope. And there goes an elbow by Scott Dawson. So if we do remember, Scott Dawson did have a little bit of a singles career before Dash Wilder got signed to NXT. He was facing the likes of Baron Corbin and Big Cass when they were still on NXT, but those two men shot up as Baron Corbin, a former Intercontinental Champion, and you know the story with Enzo and Cass already. So Scott Dawson is still trying to find himself here in NXT, but he is one half of the NXT Tag Team Champion, so you do have to give him that. Dash and Dawson, probably one of the most highlighted tag teams here on NXT. Another neck breaker there by Tommaso Ciampa. So now Johnny Wrestling trying to get the tag in here, and here comes Johnny Gargano. So the question is, could Tommaso and Johnny get it done on the big stage? It's like we said before, they did have victories over the Revival on NXT, but now the championships are on the line. So what is going to happen is now Gargano with the jawbreaker. There goes a clothesline following that. Johnny wrestling up to the top turnbuckle, attempted elbow, but Scott Dawson seeing it. Now here comes Gargano again, and Dawson just tossing Johnny Gargano right behind him. There goes a tag to Dash Wilder. So if you guys remember what happened on NXT when they did face TM61, the tag team champions got two Shatter Machines onto Nick Miller and Shane Thorne, but they were not able to put them away. So that right there should put a little bit of doubt in the confidence of the Revival. Will the Shatter Machine be able to get the job done against DIY? There goes a cover on Gargano and a kick out, 2.5. Is now Johnny Gargano trying to come back. There goes an Enziguri to the back of the head of Wilder. So a lot already has happened here on NXT Takeover. In the pre-show, we had Andrade Cien Almas taking on Ricochet, and Ricochet was not able to get the job done. Andrade Cien Almas with a very impressive victory, and James Storm throwing an open ticket to anybody who wanted a match here on NXT Takeover. And guess who responded to that? None other than the Big Red Monster, Kane. And Kane taught James Storm a valiant lesson about calling random opponents on any show. So I don't know how James Storm is going to react to that on NXT, but right now there goes the tag to Scott Dawson. Dawson and Wilder very impressive in this match. They know that they do have the disadvantage against DIY, but they are delivering everything they can. And there goes a nice side pseudo suplex to Dawson. We saw that before to Wilder, and now Gargano is trying to get the crowd behind him. DIY definitely loves the NXT universe, and they are making it apparent here tonight that they're the reasons why they have this position against the Revival. There goes a bulldog by Gargano. Scott Dawson looking pretty bad in that ring. Johnny Gargano has the advantage right now. There goes the Tree of Woe onto the Mechanic Dawson. And what does oh my God, that was nasty. Backstabber from the top turnbuckle. I've not seen anything like that. But it is just like Johnny Gargano to pick up those moves right out of his repertoire. So now Tommaso Ciampa just cheering on his partner, but Dawson able to get the European uppercut in. Gargano again taking down Scott Dawson. So the Revival not even able to really come out of the gate in this match. There goes an attempted cover there on Gargano, but there goes a kick out. You could tell that Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder are getting a little bit anxious in that ring because DIY has seemed to have their number before. They do not want to lose those tag team titles today to Gargano and Ciampa. There's now some elbows to the face of Gargano as Dawson and Wilder trying to get back in this, and Gargano with those side suplex are rocking the back of the head of Dawson. Now drags Scott Dawson to the middle of the ring. What does Gargano have planned here? And oh my God, there goes a crippler crossface onto Scott Dawson. Will Dawson tap out here? Dash Wilder's freaking out on his side of the ring. We may have new tag team champions. Scott Dawson's in a world of trouble. But no, Dawson able to counter that. Knees to the back of the head of Gargano. And then a punch right to the face. Nothing pretty about that, but it is definitely effective. But look at Gargano picking up Dawson and right into the gut buster. This is not looking good for the Revival as now Tommaso comes in, but Dawson reaching the ropes. And the referee actually smart enough to catch that. If we remember a couple of weeks ago on NXT, Bobby Lashley tried that in the semifinals and the referee completely missed that, leading Magnus to the finals. And did you see that on the right side of the screen? Tommaso Ciampa just back suplexing Dash Wilder onto the apron, and Dash Wilder is out. Scott Dawson has no partner right now as Johnny Wrestling is just demolishing Scott Dawson. And right there goes an arm DDT and right into the arm bar. Look at this. Dawson in a world of trouble. Will he get the tap out here? But no. Johnny Wrestling letting go as Dash Wilder makes it back to the apron. And now Dawson able to counter that. Very competitive tag team match thus far. And this is only the first to come of many matches on NXT TakeOver. As there goes Gargano with another armbar attempt. As Dawson really needs to make that tag as Dash is looking at his partner get destroyed by Johnny Wrestling. We haven't even really seen Tommaso Ciampa. And what is Johnny Wrestling at play here? And there goes a super kick, but there goes a dodge. Johnny Gargano attempted super kick, and there goes the tag to Dash Wilder. No, Gargano stopping it. Tossing Scott Dawson into the turnbuckle. What's gonna happen now? Is now look at this. And oh my God, that was nasty. Snake eyes to the second turnbuckle. There is nothing pretty about that. Johnny Gargano is thinking about putting away Scott Dawson, but Dawson's kicking the knees. I think the Revival may just realize what they're gonna have to do to win this match, and I think that's literally just survive, because Dawson's been hit with bombs in this match. It's now Wilder just on the apron. I'm surprised Scott Dawson did not make that tag. He really needs to make that tag. There goes a chop to the chest. And now Gargano has Dawson up again. There goes a gutbuster. Is now, oh boy. Johnny Wrestling with that crippler crossface. Crippler crossface on Dawson. He may tap out here. We may have new tag team champions. Scott Dawson in a world of trouble. I'm surprised Wilder did not get in, but he's not going to have to again. As there goes Dawson again. Another punch to the face of Gargano. Pretty lengthy match between these two teams. But you have to say DIY definitely has the advantage right now. There goes a neck breaker. And there goes a tag to Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. And there goes attempted pinfall onto Scott Dawson. Dash Wilder seeing that, but he's not going to even need to make the save. The Revival is in a world of trouble right now. And oh my God, that was nasty. Right to the kneecap of Tommaso Ciampa. As now Scott Dawson stomping on the side of the ring. He knows he has to get back in this match. As you saw Tommaso Ciampa trying to crawl back to Johnny Gargano, but this is going to be too late. As now Scott Dawson tossing Tommaso into the corner. We all know what's coming now. As there goes a tag made to Dash Wilder. We all know what's coming now. And there goes the Shatter Machine. Run out to Tommaso Ciampa. That right there is going to be it. The Revival retaining their championships here at NXT TakeOver. Tommaso is done. Well, what? He kicked out of that. How on earth did Tommaso Ciampa kick out of the Shatter Machine? Well, we were just talking about how the Shatter Machine did not get the job done against TM61. And it's not going to get the job done today. As now there goes discus clothesline by Tommaso. Dash Wilder is looking up at the lights. But we have new tag team champions tonight at TakeOver, but no, he doesn't go for the cover as Dash Wilder scraping the legs of Tommaso. And then Tommaso answering with a kick right to the head. What a match so far. Opening match on NXT TakeOver, the main card. As now look at this. Tommaso going for a powerbomb, but Dash Wilder saying not today. As the NXT crowd was getting very excited as they were thinking about seeing maybe a new tag team champion. As now look at this. There goes a tag made to Scott Dawson. What is going to happen here again? Oh no, second Shatter Machine to Tommaso Ciampa, and that right there is going to be the end for DIY. Thank you for coming, Tommaso Ciampa, but this is it. And the top guys retain the NXT Tag Team Championships, just like we all thought they would. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, when the NXT Tag Team titles are on the line, we see all new Tag Team Champions inside Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. They just completely crapped on DIY's chances of being the NXT Tag Team Champions. I'm very impressed with their Revival. Like they took a lot of punishment in this match. Both Dash and Dawson getting murdered by Tommaso and Johnny, but at the end of the day, Tommaso had nothing for that second Shatter Machine. As there goes Johnny Gargano attempting this right here was the end. Boom! Shatter Machine onto Tommaso Ciampa. Thank you for coming. 1, 2, 3. We have the same tag team champions after TakeOver. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson may just be the best tag team on all of NXT. Well, TM61 did get the victory over the tag team champions, so maybe they will be the next ones getting the championship shot at Dallas. But that right there is it. We have the same tag team champions, the Revival, reigning supreme at NXT Takeover. Tag team match we just witnessed here at NXT Takeover, and now it is grudge match time as Lince Dorado will be meeting the premier athlete Tony Nese in a last man standing match, as it was said on 205 Live this past week. We know that Lince Dorado wants Tony Nese bad, because Tony Nese cost Lince Dorado a match against Brian Kendrick this past Tuesday on 205 Live, and Lince Dorado would have loved nothing more than to put the premier athlete down at TakeOver. So this has been one hell of a show thus far. We had the Revival just stomp on DIY's chances of taking the NXT Tag Team Championships, and here comes Tony Nese, as this man has been nothing short of impressive on 205 Live. He has one victory over Lince Dorado, Lince Dorado having one victory over Nese. But this right here at NXT TakeOver will be the end of this rivalry, as you have to assume that one of these superstars may be pursuing a championship shot at either TJ Perkins or Brian Kendrick following this match tonight at TakeOver. So there goes the premier athlete Tony Nese. He made his presence known this past Tuesday on 205 Live, because Brian Kendrick was in a rematch with Lince Dorado. Lince Dorado defeating Brian Kendrick the week before. And now here we go. Last man standing action now at TakeOver. So Lince Dorado gets a chance to get some retribution today, as Tony Nese just starting out this match with a suplex. So with the first match between Lince Dorado and Tony Nese, it was not televised because that was back when I was sick, and I know that I was promising you guys that match on that huge episode of 205 Live, but it just could not happen because I was not feeling well. My throat was killing me, and I just could not call that match. But Tony Nese did win. He defeated Lince Dorado one-on-one, and the following week, Lince Dorado faced Tony Nese in a Falls Count Anywhere match, defeating Nese by pinning him on the outside following that standing shooting star. And there goes the athleticism of Lince Dorado, just kicking Nese down. So my question is what kind of influence does that victory over Brian Kendrick have on Lince Dorado? Because before Lince Dorado defeated Brian Kendrick, I mean, you could tell that he was definitely on fire. Lince Dorado was getting victories left and right, but he was definitely holding back. Like, you saw a lot of hesitation for Lince Dorado to really put the foot on the acceleration. But after that victory over Brian Kendrick, we saw a whole new side of Lince Dorado. In that match with Brian Kendrick, we saw a whole new side of Lince Dorado, that he really wants to be competitive. He really wants championship gold on 205 Live, and he knows the only way he's going to get that is to excel and to go a little bit past his repertoire, to not be afraid to take risks, and to not be afraid to do some devastating maneuvers, as now the referee starts the count on the premier athlete Tony Nese. Nese may be down, as I know I wasn't calling those standing shooting stars before, but Lince Dorado delivered at least like 4 of those in a row to the premier athlete, and that took a lot of them. Tony Nese is there. There goes another one. And will we see any toys introduced in this match, as now Lince Dorado goes to the apron, and there goes a frog splash from the springboard. It's now Tony Nese is having a lot of trouble right now keeping Lince Dorado down. Lince Dorado just sees absolute red. He does not want Tony Nese to leave with a victory. He wants Tony Nese to leave hurt. And honestly, I think Nese is very hurt right now. It's now Tony Nese stirring back up at the count of 7. Nese really needs to get something started here, because Lince Dorado has been devastating in this match. So now there goes another suplex attempt by Nese. And look at that stalling suplex there on Dorado. One thing about Tony Nese is that despite his size, he has a lot of strength. This man is in perfect shape physically, and he has a lot of strength. He's very quick, so definitely you cannot sleep on Tony Nese. He has a lot of talent. There goes a knee to the back of Lince Dorado's neck. That is not going to do good. As now Nice just stomping on the end of that knee of Dorado. As now here goes some clubbing blows to the face. As now Tony Nese was having problems keeping Lince Dorado down before, but he's definitely not having an issue right now, as he's just destroying Lince. And now here goes the referee counting for Dorado. So Tony Nese ended the match the first time with that pump handle power slam. It was definitely a innovative move by Nese, as now Dorado is down, the referee is counting. There goes a 7 count, and there goes an 8 count, as now Nese just continues with the domination. This has been one hell of a rivalry on 205 Live between Dorado and Nese, and I think the winner of this match will officially have the one up on the other. Both men tied in victories. It's now Dorado just grabbing the neck. It's now Nese tossing Dorado into the steel ring post. When these two men get in the ring, they definitely bring the best out of each other. There goes a neck breaker there onto the premier athlete, as Lince Dorado allowing the referee to say the count. You guys cannot forget what happened in the opening moments of this match. Lince Dorado delivered 4 standing shooting star presses to Tony Nese. That right there is going to take a lot of air out of your abdomen. As now Nese stirs at a count of 6. But now Lince Dorado just continuing to dominate Nese. And what does Dorado have planned here? Look at that. Cartwheel into the standing moonsault. Tony Nese may be in a world of trouble, as Lince Dorado may be seeing the ending of this match as he stomps on the abdomen. And there goes another standing shooting star. As now Tony Nese is in a world of trouble. Will he be able to get the advantage right now? Nese stirring, but he's looking up at the lights. Lince Dorado has been absolutely relentless in this match. The referee would have counted to 6. There goes a 7 count. And Tony Nese able to get back to his feet at a count of 8. As now Lince Dorado quickly grabbing the head and neck, as Nese with a counter. And there goes a suplex. And the legs of Lince Dorado catching the ropes on the way down. That is ugly, ugly landing for Lince Dorado. If I was Tony Nese, I would try to hit that pump handle power slam right now to end this match, but he's just allowing the referee to count. But that is one thing that makes Tony Nese so successful. He is not overzealous. He knows what he has to do. So he's actually taking this moment to get a breather, because Lince Dorado has taken a lot out of Tony Nese. It's now Nese grabbing Dorado, and here goes some elbows to the head of Lince. Tony Nese is delivering one hell of a beatdown to Lince Dorado. As I remember the first match between these two, both of these men were bleeding profusely from the head. We've yet to see blood in this match just yet, but Tony Nese able to counter there, using his athleticism to bring him down. And look at that. Oh, we've seen this before. Single-handed power bomb onto Dorado. That right there was ugly. But Lince Dorado quickly getting back to his feet. He knows the importance of this match. If he loses to Tony Nese right now, that's going to put him way down in the ranks on 205 Live to get a championship shot. As now, what does Tony Nese have planned here as he locks Dorado in the tree of woe. As right there, Lince Dorado catching the head. There goes a knee, making Tony Nese stir on his feet. Another toss to the steel ring post. What does Nese have planned here? Uh-oh. Oh my God, that was disgusting. Right into the steel ring post, that arm, and drops him down with that modified power bomb. Is Lince Dorado right now looking up at the lights? He doesn't even know where the hell he is. This match has been very good between these two superstars. No weapons yet involved. This is a last man standing match, no disqualification. But I think Tony Nese's fists are enough to put Dorado down for a 10 count right now. As now Lince Dorado in a lot of trouble. As Tony Nese is trying to... What was that? It's Tony Nese grabbing the air. He was wrestling the air right there. I guess Tony Nese is a ghost whisperer, guys. But grabbing Dorado, trying to get back in this match. Is now look at Dorado. And oh my God! The innovative of Tony Nese, I think he was going for a cover, but he forgot. This is a last man standing match. There's no covers in this match. As now Tony Nese grabbing Lince and drops him down with a gut wrench power bomb. That was disgusting. And where is Nese going? We rarely see Tony Nese go to the ropes. As we know, the premier athlete definitely has a high flying background, but what does he have planned here? An attempted elbow. Lince Dorado saw it coming though. And there goes a drop kick to the back of the neck. That right there is going to set some stars in your world. It's Tony Nese now in a world of trouble. Just like that, Lince Dorado taking control in this match. What action we witnessed so far at NXT TakeOver, guys. One hell of a match we had between these two cruiserweights. If I was TJP or Brian Kendrick, I'll be paying close attention to the winner of this match. They may be the potential #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title at Dallas. The referee counts to 9 and Nese gets up right on time. I think Lince Dorado needs to start looking for that shooting star press. Tony Nese now just getting stomped on by Lince Dorado. One thing about Dorado is that he's a high-flying, fun-loving superstar, but when he gets serious about things, he could be very dominant. And there goes a kick attempted by Tony, and oh my God, Enziguri catching Dorado on the back of the head. I'm sure Lince was not expecting that. Neither were the rest of the NXT universe. It's now Dorado trying to stir back to his feet. Tony Nese is watching Dorado as he writhes in pain on the floor. Will that be enough to put him away? Tony Nese really needs to deliver that pump handle power slam. That may put Dorado to sleep. So the referee continues to count. Dorado getting back to his feet at 8. Is now Dorado grabbing Nese. What does he have planned here? Picks up Nese, and there goes a brain buster. Dropping Nese right on the back of his head. Dorado now grabbing Tony Nese and throwing him into the turnbuckle. We've seen Dorado go into the turnbuckle many times in this match. And now Tony Nese with a DDT, and that turned Dorado inside out. But Dorado responds, Hurricane Rana to Nese. What a match. These two men may not be in any condition to face off on 205 Live on Tuesday. I think Tony Nese is getting a little bit too cocky with these counts, as he just swatted Dorado off of his feet and now just allowing the referee to count. But once again, I think Tony Nese is taking this chance to just breathe and get his air back, because remember, he did take all of those shooting star presses. Nese may get the victory right now, but no, Dorado stirs back, and there goes a kick right to the face. There is nothing classy about Tony Nese's fighting style, but it is definitely effective. He definitely knows how to hurt somebody. And Nese with a clothesline. For a man that hasn't been walking into NXT TakeOver with a lot of momentum, Tony Nese is definitely getting the job done today. Lince Dorado is looking up at the lights. He does not know where he is. He does not know who he is. He probably doesn't even realize he's a cruiserweight right now. He thinks he's in another show. It's now, there goes the referee just counting. There goes an 8 count. Dorado stirs back as Tony Nese just continues with the kicks. And one thing about the kicks from the premier athlete, they are definitely devastating. Do not take the fact that Tony Nese is 200 pounds lightly. He is dominant in that ring. As you can see, and this is exactly what I was saying he should have went for before. As now he grabs Dorado. This is not looking good. Picks him up, pump handle into the power slam, and Dorado now is done for. Tony Nese got this victory. You could count forever. Lince Dorado was not getting up from that. As now Tony Nese is just looking at Dorado as he knows he's not going to get up. Lince Dorado may surprise us all, as the referee now up to 8. Dorado is looking up at the lights. There goes a 9 count. And Tony Nese leaving with the last man standing victory over Lince Dorado today at TakeOver. As this is not the way that Lince Dorado was hoping to end this rivalry, but good match nonetheless. That right there was the earlier offense from Lince. All of those moonsaults, and that right there, I think that right there was the end, as you saw the back of Lince's head just hitting the rope on that single arm power bomb. As now Tony Nese was very dominant in this match. Very good match between these two superstars, as Tony Nese just was too much for Dorado on today. And that right there was the move that put Dorado to sleep. It's that pump handle power slam will put anybody out. So Tony Nese ending the rivalry between himself and Lince Dorado. So I think this may be the man who's going to be facing either Brian Kendrick or TJP at NXT TakeOver in Dallas, you have to assume. But that right there is the end of this rivalry, guys. Back to NXT TakeOver England, and this right here is the NXT Showcase, which one of these superstars will get an NXT contract. But who is... Oh, are you serious? This is Hiroshi Tanahashi. and he is from New Japan Pro Wrestling, as he right now is about to rock the world on the NXT crowd. So pretty much the new general manager, Mr. McMahon, decided to make this match because he wanted to sign some new talent over to the yellow brand. So I guess Hiroshi Tanahashi got the call from New Japan Pro Wrestling saying that you're going to be going to WWE NXT Takeover. And I guess he was quick to take the offer, as he's going to be coming here today. But the thing about Hiroshi is that he does not know his opponent, and as well as his opponent did not know he was going to face Hiroshi. So this is going to be a good match. Both superstars not having enough time to prepare for one another. So Hiroshi Tanahashi may be the newest NXT superstar. I wonder who this is. Well, the crowd has gone silent. We do not know who this man is. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. That is not him. I think that is who he is. That is EC3, Ethan Carter III, former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Oh my God, the crowd has just gone crazy as EC3 is making his NXT debut here on Universe Mode, and he looks ready to go. This guy has such a huge background. He actually performed for NXT before, but he just did not get signed by WWE. Well, I guess he has another opportunity to get signed by the major brand today as EC3. The whole crowd is off their feet. EC3 is here. As this right here may be some bad news for the NXT locker room. This man is absolutely talented. So we have EC3 versus Hiroshi Tanahashi in the NXT Takeover Showcase. And please like and subscribe for the showcase if you want to see it continuing in all the NXT Takeovers. New stars definitely coming in as EC3 versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. This right here is a dream match all over the world. These two men have performed all over the world, as EC3 quickly getting the one-up on Hiroshi Tanahashi. But unfortunately, only one of these men could get the contract for NXT. Who's going to be the newest superstar is right now EC3 starting with a suplex, and the crowd is loving it right now. As we said, EC3 is a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He did perform over there for a couple of years, and I guess he got the call from Vince McMahon saying that I want you in NXT. So here he is, but EC3 has to earn his shot on the yellow brand. It's not going to be that easy. It's now Hiroshi. There was a German suplex by EC3. Now I know a lot of you guys may not watch TNA Impact, but one thing about EC3 is that he is one dedicated superstar. So out of the list of garbage on TNA, I would say that I'm really glad to have EC3 here. As we know, TNA does not really have a lot of talents that I guess Vince McMahon is looking for, but EC3 is an exception. There goes a left hand to the face of Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now definitely, I know we were giving EC3 a lot of hype, but definitely do not count out Hiroshi Tanahashi. He is definitely really talented. He has fought the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura. He's fought the likes of AJ Styles when he was over in NJPW. This man knows how it is to win a big match. And now there goes a senton there on EC3. This is going to be a very competitive match, as this wasn't even planned for the card, but Mr. McMahon insisted that we had a showcase. I guess he wanted some more people in the NXT World Championship picture. If you're Samoa Joe, what are you thinking right now? Seeing EC3 at an NXT ring. Samoa Joe knows EC3 very well. Both men were members of the TNA roster. These men faced each other many times on TNA, and if I was Samoa Joe, I'd be very scared, because EC3 has gotten the better of Samoa Joe on many occasions. But that is going to be an issue for another night. Maybe in Dallas, we'll see EC3 go after the NXT World Championship. And that right there was a headbutt to Hiroshi. The giant head of EC3 just coming crashing down the forehead of Tanahashi. As now, I would have to say that this match has been mostly EC3. He's been in control, but now Tanahashi trying to get the crowd behind him. As I think the NXT universe is an absolute awe, seeing both of these superstars in an NXT ring. Another man who may know EC3 very well in the NXT locker room is Bobby Lashley. And what a match that would be to see Bobby Lashley versus EC3 on NXT. That's the only place you'll be able to see it if he does win this match. Tanahashi with a superplex to EC3, dropping him into the mat. There goes a cover. Well, we're not contemplating. What if Tanahashi wins the NXT contract? And he's gonna send EC3 packing right back to TNA, I guess. And now EC3, and we've seen this from Tony Nese. There goes a single hand power bomb onto Tanahashi, driving him on the back of his neck. This has been a really good NXT takeover, guys. I'm enjoying everything that I'm seeing right now. And there goes a knee right to the head. Taking a page out of Dean Ambrose's book, I guess. It's now EC3 just looking at Tanahashi. He knows he has to end this match quick. He wants that NXT contract. He wants a chance to perform for WWE yet again. And now Tanahashi going for the quick pinfall. And that is one thing that you have to respect about Hiroshi. He's been going for those pinfalls on numerous occasions because he knows how dangerous of a superstar Ethan Carter III is. There goes a forearm to the face. Nothing pretty about that. And there goes Tanahashi responding with a gut punch. As now there goes a German suplex by Hiroshi Tanahashi, showing some strength. Lifting the nearly 300-pound EC3 to the floor. And now what does Hiroshi Tanahashi have planned for everybody? As there goes a 5-star frog splash. Could not have done it better myself. There goes a pinfall attempt. EC3 maybe in a world of trouble. Oh no, EC3 kicks out. So if I was you, I would definitely hit that like button and definitely comment for the NXT showcase because this is absolutely phenomenal. And now Hiroshi with a corkscrew senton, but to no avail. As now EC3 was planning on going for that club and blow, but what is that right there was a kick right to the jaw. That was a nasty kick by Hiroshi Tanahashi. EC3 has not moved ever since. There goes another senton there to drive the air right out of your body. Right now I'm still kind of trying to bask in the fact that we have Hiroshi Tanahashi and EC3 here competing against each other on NXT Takeover. This is great. Side pseudo suplex there. Tanahashi takes down EC3. And I think ever since getting hit by that kick, EC3 has been a little bit off of his feet. And now there goes another pinfall by Tanahashi, putting the pressure onto EC3, making sure that he stays honest in this match. One thing that we see in EC3 is he has a lot of confidence, but in this match with Hiroshi Tanahashi, he does know that he has to have some respect for the Japanese-born superstar. So speaking of dream matches, oh my god, that was a sling blade. Taking a page out of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins' book. That was beautiful. Dropping EC3 on the back of his head. That was a nasty landing for EC3. So talking about dream matches, what if we saw Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Shinsuke Nakamura? Talk about a Japanese takeover. Shinsuke Nakamura, of course, has an opportunity in that fatal 4-way TLC match to become the #1 contender. There goes a modified Dirty Deeds. Tanahashi may be out. EC3 is going to be leaving with the 1-2-3 and an NXT contract today. And Tanahashi says no. Tanahashi making EC3 work for his victory. He's not going to get it that easily tonight. This is an absolutely crazy match, guys. One hell of a contest we're witnessing between these two superstars. They definitely want an NXT contract. EC3 throws down Tanahashi. As now right into the jawbreaker. And if you get hit by the head of EC3, you're going down. There is no way you're going to stay standing because that head is absolutely huge. No homo, guys. That right there was absolutely critical by EC3. Just driving Tanahashi to the floor with those elbows to the shoulder. There goes another jawbreaker. Back and forth contest this is. As now Tanahashi with a released German suplex. EC3 right now landing on the back of his head numerous times in this match. This is not looking good for Ethan Carter. As Carter able to counter. There goes an elbow driving into the chest. Tanahashi. There goes another one. EC3 trying to drive the air out of Tanahashi. So now Tanahashi responding with a European uppercut. As both of these superstars, I would have to say, will go right into the title mix for potential contention. I don't know if maybe they'll get the opportunity in Dallas because there is a #1 contenders match already tonight to find out who will be facing either Joe or Magnus in Dallas. But maybe for the future, as now EC3 picks him up, and there goes a sit-down power bomb. Wow, I think the Shield is these guys' mentors. They had a lot of Shield moves in this match. We've already seen the sling blade, the knee, and the sit-down powerbomb. There's Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose, and here goes another knee, and that drives Tanahashi right to the ground. And the modified Dirty D's there from EC3. Co-commentator reminded me about that. Well, EC3 probably should have went for the pinfall on Tanahashi after that knee. And there goes another sling blade as EC3's chances of getting an NXT contract are slowly slipping through his fingers. Look at this. Tanahashi flexing for the crowd. You have to love the charisma of Hiroshi Tanahashi. As now there goes Tanahashi with an attempted clubbing blow to the face of EC3. But now EC3 now has him on his shoulders. We've seen this before. And there goes TK3. Modified torture rack neck breaker there on Tanahashi. Thank you for coming. EC3 has an NXT contract. And thank you, EC3. We will be seeing you on Wednesday nights. We now have EC3 signed to NXT. Everybody better watch it because this man is absolutely talented. That knee to the side of the head, I think that right there took Tanahashi out of this match. But you have to give Hiroshi Tanahashi some credit. He definitely delivered one hell of a performance against Ethan Carter III in this match. Well, guys, only you have the power to probably have Hiroshi Tanahashi signed to NXT. So definitely leave a comment and a like in the description, because I'm sure I would want to see Hiroshi Tanahashi back in the NXT ring in the future. But on tonight's episode of TakeOver, it is going to be EC3 picking up the victory, as we are now at the halfway point of NXT TakeOver. Next, we're going to have one hell of a women's championship match as Asuka defends the NXT Women's Championship against Billie Kay and Mickie James. Congratulations, EC3, for earning your NXT contract. Well, guys, I also do want to apologize because we didn't really advertise this match very well, but this is a triple threat women's championship match, as that right there is Mickie James, as she just got recently signed to NXT a month ago. And ever since she got signed, Asuka has had a huge problem with Mickie James, because she kind of felt like Mickie James was trying to take her spotlight. So Mickie James pretty much throwing herself into the mix, saying that, Asuka, if you want to have the spotlight back, if you want to prove that you're better than me, you have to face me for the championship. But Billie Kay also throwing herself into the mix, because she just could not deal with the fact that Mickie James was the only one who was going to get an NXT Women's Championship shot. So now we're waiting on the arrival of Billie Kay. As here comes Billie Kay, and one thing about Billie Kay, she has a nasty mean streak. And that right there is the Australian-born superstar. As here comes Billie Kay. There is nothing pretty about her. There's nothing pretty about her attitude. She is a very fine-looking girl, I would honestly say. But she has one hell of a mean streak. She definitely has no respect for any of the women on the roster, and she has no respect for the women's champion Asuka, which could be a really big mistake for Billie Kay, because even though she has Mickie James to kind of neutralize the situation, Asuka really wants to kick Billie Kay's head off. So this could be either really good or really bad for Billie Kay to have this opportunity today. As now we're just waiting on the arrival of the NXT Women's Champion. And here comes the Empress of Tomorrow, as Asuka, the NXT Women's Champion, is on her way to the ring. She looks greater than ever right now. She cannot wait to defend this NXT Championship successfully, as there goes Asuka. And honestly, this is my first time seeing Asuka in 2K17, so this is a learning experience for me as well, and I'm absolutely impressed. This Asuka looks absolutely phenomenal, and she looks ready to go. One thing about the Empress of Tomorrow is that she is a devastating superstar. She's made guys tap out. So I'm sure that Mickie James and Billie Kay are going to have a run for their money tonight, as this is a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. So we're going to be going right into our main events right after this match. Number one contenders match, TLC match. We also have the NXT World Heavyweight Championship on the line, as there goes the Empress of Tomorrow. Asuka looks absolutely ready to dominate today. So there you have it. The NXT Women's Championship is on the line. And this is our second title defended tonight at the NXT Takeover pay-per-view. As before, the Revival were able to retain their championships, will Asuka be able to retain her title in this triple threat match? Now here we go, the referee raising the title. Mickie James looks ready to go. Billie Kay looking ready to go, and Asuka always ready to go. And here we go, triple threat match underway, as Billie Kay quickly running right out of the ring, leaving Mickie James and Asuka to fend off against each other. As one thing about Billie Kay, she's a very crafty individual. She may not have the best overall in the game, she may not be the best woman on the roster, but one thing about Billie Kay, she knows when to be at a place and at what time to be at a place. So Billie Kay just trying to slug off at Asuka, driving her head first into the ring. As now Asuka taking down Billie Kay. She would really love to get a piece of Mickie James in this match though. Asuka getting tossed into the other side, and there goes. I thought Asuka countered that, but Mickie James able to hit all of that clothesline in the corner, and Billie Kay following up on that. As I guess the game plan is to team up on Asuka, as Billie Kay getting driven out of the ring. Some of that splash that Mickie James just delivered to Asuka, catching the back of the neck of Billie Kay. It's now Asuka tossing Mickie James into this title rope, and now Mickie James with an attempted clothesline to the back of Asuka's neck. Now there goes Asuka taking down Mickie James quickly. Billie Kay running back in the ring. Billie Kay is going to do her best to probably pick up the pinfall at the right time, because she is definitely at a disadvantage in this match. And I mean, even though that there's an equal opportunity for every woman in this match to possibly leave with the championship, but out of experience and out of just pure domination, Billie Kay is outnumbered by Mickie James and Asuka. As Mickie James is a veteran, and Asuka is just, her short time in NXT has been really impactful. She has been so dominant. And Asuka now. Asuka looking for something big. She is trying to get the NXT Universe behind her. Mickie James driving Billie Kay neck first into the ring. There's nothing pretty about what we just saw there. Now, I think Mickie James was attempting a dragon sleeper on Billie Kay, but Asuka not allowing it to happen. As now there goes a German onto Mickie James. She rolls out of harm's way, and now there goes, and that right there was the move that Mickie James hit Billie Kay with earlier. Billie Kay getting a whole bunch of trauma to the back of her neck. But now Billie Kay grabbing Asuka. The Empress of Tomorrow may be in trouble. As now, there goes an eat defeat by Billie Kay. Asuka getting a face full of Billie Kay's boot. Now Mickie James trying to stir up. Billie Kay went for that discus forearm. Now Mickie James trying to come back in. Billie Kay has been very impressive. For a woman who's not had the advantage in this match, she is definitely delivering one hell of a beatdown to both of these superstars. And there goes a kick to the face of Mickie James. Mickie James is down. Asuka now. Attempted suplex, but Billie Kay counters. Oh my God, Billie Kay is just taking everybody out. As there goes an inverted atomic drop. Asuka now rolls out of harm's way. The Empress of Tomorrow, the NXT Women's Champion, in a world of trouble. Now you can only see this action here on Kaisah Wrestling in NXT Takeover. There goes a neck breaker by Mickie James. Will this be enough? As now Mickie James maybe planning for a DDT. Is now Billie Kay in trouble, but Billie Kay, there goes the Russian leg sweep on Mickie James. Asuka still on the outside of the ring trying to figure out where she's at, but Asuka able to break up the pinfall. Billie Kay has almost became NXT Women's Champion many times in this match. There goes a German by Asuka. Now Asuka looking for something big, as now here comes the Empress of Tomorrow. And there goes that forearm to the face of Billie Kay. That's going to leave her looking up at the lights. As now Mickie James trying to capitalize on the distraction by Billie Kay. But Asuka saying not today. There goes a punch right to the face of Mickie James. James with elbows to the face of Asuka. These are the two women that the NXT Universe really wanted to see go at it. But Billie Kay is adding herself into the mix. It's now Mickie James trying to get some momentum back on her side. There goes a super kick to the face of Asuka. Asuka's in a world of trouble. She's been hit with some devastating maneuvers in this match. But Mickie James took that big boot by Billie Kay earlier on. Billie Kay is just relaxing in the corner. She has nothing to worry about. As here comes Asuka, but Mickie James catching her as Billie Kay stopping Mickie James' attempt. And now look at Asuka. What does she have planned here? Uh-oh, she's looking for that Asuka lock, and she has it locked in. The Asuka lock on Billie Kay. Will the Empress of Tomorrow retain the championship today? Billie Kay's in a world of trouble. And Billie Kay able to fight out of that hold. I thought the referee was about to say Billie Kay tapped out of that. I'm really surprised that Billie Kay, she was able to get out of the Asuka lock. Mickie James is on the outside trying to pick up the cobwebs. There goes a cover by Billie Kay and a kick out by Asuka. What a triple threat match these three women are putting on right now. Is now I think Billie Kay was planning on putting Asuka out with that boot like she did to Mickie James. And there goes another attempted boot by Billie Kay, but missing. Now Mickie James in the corner. Billie Kay just watching Asuka deliver those Daniel Bryan-like kicks to the chest. Mickie James trying to get Billie Kay out of the equation. If it's up to just Mickie James and Asuka, you have to think Mickie James may have an opportunity to pin the women's champion. What does Mickie James have planned here? It's now Billie Kay maybe in a world of trouble. Asuka now with the knee. We have a lot of tributes in this NXT Takeover show. A lot of look-alike moves as Mickie James rolls out of harm's way. And now it's just Billie Kay in the ring with the women's champion. That could be either really good or really bad for Billie Kay. If she's able to deliver that big boot to Asuka, we may have a new women's champion. That'll be the first championship to change hands tonight at TakeOver. Back suplex by Asuka. This has to be the third or fourth time that Mickie James is on the outside. She's in a world of trouble. Here comes Asuka running. Oh, I think she actually hit her with the ass. She used her butt to knock out Billie Kay. What an innovative move. And Asuka retains the women's championship after that rear view to the face of Billie Kay. Asuka using her ass to take out Billie Kay. Well, I guess Asuka's ass must feel like a stone. And she used it again. I'm going to just say it's a hip attack just for our younger viewers here on the channel. So Asuka with that running hip attack on Billie Kay. And that right there just took her out. Billie Kay had no response for that. As the NXT Women's Champion Asuka picks up the victory tonight at TakeOver England. That right there is your reigning NXT Women's Champion. Asuka looking very impressive today. So the question now is who's going to step up to the throne? Who's going to face Asuka at NXT TakeOver in Dallas? As now we have an exciting Fatal 4-Way TLC match for you coming up next. Do not miss the rest of TakeOver, guys. To find out the #1 contender for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver Dallas is right now. We have a Fatal 4-Way TLC match. And guess who is coming out first? And that is right. He is the King of Strong Style. He is Shinsuke Nakamura. As Shinsuke Nakamura probably had one of the most upsetting losses in his career in the NXT Championship tournament when he lost to Elias Sampson. Nobody really expected Elias Sampson to beat the King of Strong Style, but I guess Nakamura has a little bit of a chance to get some revenge on Sampson in this match because he will be one of the competitors along with Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley. So Shinsuke Nakamura has a lot to prove in this match because he just was not able to get the job done in the tournament. He was a lot of people's favorite to win the whole thing. But now, of course, Samoa Joe is going to be defending the NXT title against Magnus later on tonight in the main event. But Shinsuke Nakamura will love nothing more than to get this victory and head into Dallas as the #1 contender. As the whole NXT universe is on their feet for the King of Strong Style. There right there is the ladder. As tables, ladders, and chairs will all play a part in this match. As I'm personally really excited to call this match. This is going to be absolutely awesome. When Vince McMahon made this match just this past week on NXT, I literally dropped my water, spat everything out. I was absolutely excited for this match. It's Nakamura is getting ready for this match. First man in the ring. So the question is, who is going to be leaving with the spoils? And I think right now we're going to get introduced to the glorious one, Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is a man that is absolutely salty because unlike Nakamura, Bobby Roode only made it to the quarterfinals and he lost to Magnus. There goes Bobby Roode, as he does look pretty happy for a man who did not make it to the #1 contendership. But do not forget that Bobby Roode definitely made his presence known, because if you remember in the match against Bobby Lashley that Magnus had, Bobby Roode showed up and he was trying to create the distraction, but thanks to the referee's lack of experience, Bobby Lashley lost that match. He grabbed the rope and Magnus ended up leaving with the victory, so that did not go Bobby Roode's way. But Roode is looking very impressive today, and he will love nothing more than to become the #1 contender for Dallas. So let's just say Magnus wins this championship match against Samoa Joe and Bobby Roode wins this TLC match. It'll be Roode versus Magnus. But here comes probably my favorite to win this whole match. Here comes the Destroyer, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is pretty much absolutely furious because he got screwed from his tournament match against Magnus. Bobby Lashley put his arm on the bottom rope, but the referee didn't see it, so he just counted the 1, 2, 3, and Magnus got the victory. And Magnus was saying that he would love to go one-on-one with Bobby Lashley again just to prove that he could beat him. But Bobby Lashley has bigger things on his mind today as he steps into TLC. Tables, ladders, and chairs at Takeover England against Nakamura, Roode, and Samson. And now we're waiting on the last man, Elias Samson, who just faced off against Magnus in a steel cage. And I think just because of that match, Elias Samson is going to be at a huge disadvantage because he's still feeling the effects of that steel cage match against Magnus. Here comes Elias Samson, and Samson has nothing on his mind more than just winning this TLC match, getting that briefcase from the top, and going to take over Dallas to face off against either Samoa Joe or Magnus for the title. So there goes Elias Samson. And honestly, he picked up huge victories. He surprised everybody. Not anybody really expected Samson to make it to the finals, just like Magnus. I would honestly say that Magnus and Elias Samson were the two most unlikely people to make it to the finals of that tournament. But nonetheless, this is one of our major matches here at NXT Takeover in England. It is a fatal 4-way TLC match. Lashley, Roode, Nakamura, and Samson. Who wants it more? Who will be the #1 contender as that briefcase is hanging right above the ring? As now Samson quickly going after Nakamura. As you know that these two men definitely have something to prove to one another. Both men have a lot of respect for each other, but Nakamura just cannot believe that Elias Samson eliminated him from the tournament, and neither can I. We had to think that Elias Samson was coming into that match with a huge disadvantage. So on the other side of the ring, we have both the Bobbies going after each other as oh my God, Bobby Lashley just tossing Roode, and I think Bobby Roode's torso caught some of that table on the outside as Lashley just trying to destroy Roode before this match even gets going. As Nakamura goes outside, grabs the ladder, and I think Shinsuke Nakamura knows the importance of this match, grabbing the ladder already. Elias Samson throwing it back in the ring. This is going to be a lot of action to call in this match. It's now Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode continuing their little feud on the outside as Lashley feels like he shouldn't even be in this match. Lashley feels like he should be facing Samoa Joe tonight. If it wasn't for the fact that he got screwed in that match, Bobby Lashley may as well be the #1 contender. But nonetheless, Bobby Lashley is not there, and he's going to be in this #1 contenders match, so he has to focus on the task at hand. He can't focus too much on Magnus and Samoa Joe, as there goes Samson picking up Nakamura and drives him to the ground. That right there was a modified flapjack. Bobby Roode is having a hard time with the Destroyer right now. He's getting tossed around the ring as now Lashley grabbing the ladder, as now Roode saying, "Not today, you're not going to set that up on my watch." Now there goes Bobby Roode and Lashley, but Lashley able to counter. Nakamura throwing down Samson with that landslide. Samson now rolling out of the ring as well as Bobby Roode, and this right here is a dream match in its own. Nakamura versus Lashley. Nakamura getting the better of Lashley on that occasion right there as he picks up the ladder. I think it's Bobby Lashley now grabbing the ladder away from Shinsuke as Nakamura with a kick right to the chest of Lashley. So a lot of people were thinking that it was going to be down to Nakamura and Lashley in the finals. But to find out it was Magnus versus Samson, that was definitely one hell of a surprise. So now Bobby Lashley with an alligator roll to Nakamura. Samson and Rude now going after each other. There goes a crossface there onto Nakamura, and Samson knocking down Rude. As Bobby Lashley will love nothing more than to kind of make the justice in this match. He would want to go to NXT Takeover Dallas and face either Magnus or Samoa Joe. Nakamura kicking Lashley off of him. I thought Samson was going to go for something big on Bobby Roode, but not today. As Lashley and Bobby Roode going outside, as now Nakamura is in pursuit of Elias Samson, you have to believe, as Nakamura now just waving at the crowd. And Samson was attempting to hit Nakamura with that ladder, but Nakamura with the wherewithal to dodge. And now Shinsuke back in the ring, Lashley back in the ring, Roode back in the ring. All four members of this fatal four-way match now. It's Bobby Lashley tossing Rude over there by the ladder. Samson was on the shoulders of Nakamura, but not able to get hit by that move. As now, oh God, Samson tossing Nakamura down that ladder, flying out of the ring. Bobby Roode is in a world of trouble with Lashley. There goes a German suplex there to level down the Destroyer. The glorious superstar not looking so good. There goes the landslide by Nakamura. And now Samson is outside of the ring, rolling out of harm's way. And there goes Bobby Roode going out of harm's way as well. Now we're back to these two as Nakamura and Lashley just continue to go at it. The ladder has been introduced in this match. We haven't really seen too many chairs. But that right there, Lashley with that headbutt to the back of Nakamura's head. I wonder what Lashley has planned here. Is Bobby Lashley grabbing that ladder, tosses it back inside the ring. Elias Samson on the other side next to Bobby Roode. And look at this, Samson grabbing a table. What does he have planned with that? You know, whenever anybody grabs a table, it's bad intentions. And oh my God, Bobby Roode hitting Nakamura with that ladder. That right there was absolutely disgusting. As Roode knocking Samson off the top, and there goes Nakamura attempting to grab the briefcase. And look at this, Nakamura has his hands on the briefcase. Will Nakamura be the #1 contender? But Bobby Roode in pursuit of the King of Strong Style and punching him in the gut numerous times. It's now Elias Samson back in the ring as well as Bobby Roode chopping down Nakamura. Is now, look at this, Roode is on the top and he flies at Samson but misses as Bobby Lashley comes inside and tosses Samson out. And what is going on with that table? That table's just glitching in the middle of the ring. There's only half of the table in there, but it's a whole table. As Bobby Lashley now climbing, he has his hands on the briefcase, but I think that is Bobby Roode saying something else. Shinsuke Nakamura is nowhere to be seen. He's on the outside of the ring, and now Samson was attempting to toss down the ladder, and Bobby Roode went stumbling to his death. As now Samson trying to get the crowd behind him. Bobby Lashley is down and out. As now, what does Nakamura have planned here? As now Shinsuke was planning on hitting Elias Samson with something big. Now we see the whole table. Before it was glitching out. As now Bobby Lashley setting up that ladder. As now, look at this, as Elias Samson may be in trouble. As now Samson goes face first. Nakamura driving Elias Samson into the ring. Bobby Lashley now trying to climb that ladder to get that briefcase. Will he be going to Dallas? But no, Shinsuke Nakamura tossing that ladder down, and this is the first time in a while Bobby Lashley's rolling out. And now inside the ring is Elias Samson and Bobby Roode. As now Roode sets up that ladder and Samson climbs up. Where is Bobby Roode going? Now Samson has his arms on the briefcase, and there goes Roode again, punching Samson into the gut. Who's going to win this match? Nakamura and Lashley on the outside looking at the lights. And now what does Bobby Roode have planned? Is Nakamura trying to run back in the ring, but running into Lashley. It's now Samson, and there goes Nakamura, and I think, oh, and down goes Samson and Roode. Nakamura tossing down both Bobby Roode and Elias Samson, and Bobby Lashley tossing that ladder out of the fray. And there goes Nakamura over the top rope. And what does Bobby Lashley have planned with that table? Bobby Lashley, the Destroyer, tossing the table out of the ring. As now Bobby Lashley clearing the ring of all the weapons. Look at all this carnage. 3 of the 4 men are down. Bobby Lashley's the only one on his feet. Samson on the other side of the ring trying to shake off the cobwebs, and Rude just looking at Nakamura and Lashley go at it. Attempted clothesline there by Bobby Lashley. Nakamura moving out of the way. And now there goes Nakamura. Side pseudo suplex on the King of Strong Style, knocking him out. Samson tossing Rude out of the ring. As now there goes Bobby Lashley. He needs to get that briefcase. He has an opportunity right now. And Samson introducing the chair first. And there goes a shot to the spine of Shinsuke Nakamura. Samson with that chair now. Bobby Lashley setting up the ladder. And now Lashley climbing that. Nakamura is down and out. Is now Rude able to punch the back of Bobby Lashley. And now Samson and Lashley on the top of the ladder battling again. And Rude tossing down Samson and Lashley falling to their death. As now there goes Nakamura tossing Bobby Roode outside. And the King of Strong Style was in pursuit of Rude. But now it is Shinsuke and Samson in the ring. Now there goes a punch by Elias Samson, and now going for that landslide, but Nakamura saw it coming this time. As now Samson about to take a trip outside, and there goes Samson going to the outside. Shinsuke Nakamura tossing Elias Samson. Now he's climbing the ladder. He has the hands on the briefcase, and now Rude catching Nakamura. Now Bobby Lashley trying to tip over that ladder. Down goes Nakamura and Rude. So much domination in this match as Bobby Lashley has all the men down now. Lashley could get this briefcase. Bobby Lashley, all he has to do is climb, but now Elias Samson back to his feet as well. Nakamura starting to stir. Lashley may have this briefcase. Will this be enough? And now Samson punching the gut of the Destroyer. As now Nakamura trying to tip over the ladder again. And down goes Samson. Lashley landing face first. Is Bobby Lashley in a world of trouble? Shinsuke Nakamura may have an opportunity. Bobby Roode is stirring. Bobby Lashley is down and out. Nakamura slowly climbing that ladder. Will Nakamura have it? Nakamura has his hands on the briefcase, but Roode trying to get Nakamura down. Nakamura has it. Nakamura has it, but now Lashley punching the gut, and Roode tossing both superstars down. What a match this is. Every superstar came so close to grabbing that briefcase. Is now Elias Samson with a shot to the back, and now Samson now. Elias Samson may have the opportunity to grab that briefcase. Roode is down. Nakamura is down as well. Roode needs to climb that ladder. And now Samson getting shots to the gut. Bobby Roode has no remorse. Is now Roode now, everybody's down. Roode may have the briefcase. Bobby Lashley runs in. Shinsuke Nakamura stirring, but Bobby Lashley now banging on the legs of Roode to get him down from there. As now Shinsuke Nakamura focused back on Elias Samson, and there goes a clubbing elbow to the leg. As now look at this, as Bobby Lashley grabbing the back, and Roode hitting Lashley. Roode may have it here. Bobby Roode may have the briefcase. Now Nakamura and Lashley teaming up to take down Roode, and there goes Lashley tossing on the ladder. That came so close to Bobby Roode becoming the #1 contender. Nakamura tossing Lashley over. Samson is down. Nakamura's in the middle of the ring. He may have this here. Samson does not know where he's at. Nakamura needs to get that briefcase. Samson is just getting back to his feet. As now Nakamura climbing. Samson now in pursuit as well. Nakamura may have this briefcase, but now Bobby Roode runs back in. Samson with the shots to the gut, and no, this match is too good. As there goes Nakamura and Samson. Bobby Lashley tossing Bobby Roode to the outside. It's only Lashley now. We're gonna have a new #1 contender. Bobby Lashley may be able to get his shot against Samoa Joe or Magnus. As now Bobby Lashley climbing that ladder. No superstar is in sight. Lashley may have that briefcase. Lashley may have it. As Nakamura and Lashley is going to Dallas. Bobby Lashley grabs the briefcase, and he will be facing either Samoa Joe or Magnus at NXT Takeover Dallas. That was one hell of a match. Shinsuke Nakamura coming so close, but not able to get the job done. Look at that Kinshasa knocking out Elias Sampson earlier on. But at the end of the day, it is Bobby Lashley grabbing that briefcase. And he will be going to NXT Takeover Dallas to face the winner of Magnus versus Joe. As Bobby Lashley, look at that. This is probably the man that a lot of people thought would win this match, and if you bet on Lashley, you definitely got it. So it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Magnus or Samoa Joe at Dallas in the main event for the NXT Championship. Guys, it has been an interesting night here at the NXT Takeover event in England, but it is time for one of our two main events, 205 Live's huge main event today. The Cruiserweight Championship is on the line as TJ Perkins goes one-on-one with Brian Kendrick. And there goes TJ Perkins. An amazing match he had with Samoa Joe this past Tuesday on 205 Live. The question is, will TJ Perkins be able to defeat the Wizard of Oz? And a lot of people are thinking that TJ Perkins may have Brian Kendrick's number, because every single time these two men met up in the ring, TJ Perkins was always able to get the victory. He got a singles victory over Brian Kendrick the first week of 205, and he also beat Brian Kendrick in a tables match to get the #1 contender spot. And that was a really fast table match, if I can say so myself. Literally a minute, as TJP looks absolutely ready to go. Perkins versus Kendrick. This is our 205 Live main event here at NXT Takeover in England. And here comes Brian Kendrick. This is the man that says he has TJ Perkins' number, but history says otherwise, because Brian Kendrick has lost to TJ Perkins twice. So Brian Kendrick really needs to get his head in the game in this match. He cannot take TJ Perkins lightly. Just because this is a championship match doesn't mean that Brian Kendrick is going to step it up the way that he wants to. It's up to him to do that. And honestly, Brian Kendrick, he got a victory over Lince Dorado this past week on 205 Live, but the Cruiserweight Champion has not had the best momentum going into this match. So he has a lot to prove against TJ Perkins tonight. And after we saw the heart that TJ Perkins has in that match against Samoa Joe, Brian Kendrick is in for one hell of a night. So here we have it. Cruiserweight title is on the line. Kendrick versus Perkins. This match is at least 2 months into the making, guys. And that's what it's all for. The Cruiserweight Championship. Who's going to leave tonight? The king of 205 Live. And I'm sure the winner of this match has to take account to Tony Nese and let's say Dorado's last man standing match earlier on tonight. He's now Perkins. Looks so focused. TJ Perkins looking ready to go, just staring right into the eyes of the Wizard of Oz. And there's Brian Kendrick. Kendrick has been very vocal about this match, but we have not really seen Kendrick at his best just yet. Hopefully he will be able to make up for those losses and getting a victory tonight against Perkins where it counts at TakeOver in England. It's now Brian Kendrick holding that title. This is what it's all about. The Cruiserweight Championship. Perkins ready. Kendrick is ready. And here we go. 205 Live main event commencing. Perkins versus Kendrick. And Brian Kendrick running at Perkins automatically. But Perkins catches a Michinoku driver. Driving in Brian Kendrick. A lot of people say that TJ Perkins will be leaving this match with the Cruiserweight Championship just because of that astounding match he had with Samoa Joe. And I think that match made Perkins a better superstar. There was a dropkick to the back of the neck of Brian Kendrick. So one thing about TJ Perkins is he has a lot of heart, but just like anything, you cannot count out Brian Kendrick, because we've said this many times on 205 Live. The Cruiserweight Champion is very crafty. He knows what it takes to win big matches. As Perkins attempting a dropkick but missing that right there is going to hurt Perkins' chances, and now Brian Kendrick is going to take advantage. Kendrick now grabbing the head of Perkins. This is not looking good right now. TJP driven into the ground with a suplex. So a lot of people are rooting for Perkins, but they have to also keep in mind that Perkins did have a match with Samoa Joe, and he got beat up pretty badly. So TJ Perkins is definitely not 100% in this match. He's looking like $1 million, but he's probably feeling like 3 cents. So now here goes Brian Kendrick, and there goes a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. And you can see the pain on TJ Perkins' face. He's still feeling all those moves from Samoa Joe on 205 Live. As we said before, 205 Live hosted Samoa Joe versus Perkins, and that was probably the best match in 205 Live history. Definitely check that out if you guys have not seen that yet. It's now Brian Kendrick with a attempted leg drop to the back of the neck of Perkins, but not able to get the job done. So now Brian Kendrick trying to get the crowd to cheer for him, but we all know Brian Kendrick is not a popular guy on 205 Live, so it's not going to be easy to get this crowd to like Brian Kendrick. So now Brian Kendrick attempting to grab Perkins, but Perkins able to take down Kendrick, and Kendrick playing a little tit for tat with TJ Perkins. Is now Perkins there, jawbreaker to Kendrick. There goes a fist to the face and a clothesline leveling down TJ Perkins. So this match has been very equal thus far. We've seen a lot of offense from both superstars, but you could tell the Cruiserweight Championship means a lot to both Perkins and Kendrick. The TJP is looking to get his career started on 205 Live, and oh my God, that was a nasty Hurricane Rana into the ring, driving the forehead of Perkins down to the mat. There goes a 2 count by Kendrick, kick out by Perkins. TJP has definitely made a name for himself and has shown the 205 Live universe that he has a lot of heart and he could take a lot of punishment, but Brian Kendrick is not the man that you want to make mistakes against. Is now Brian Kendrick telling Perkins to stay down, but it's obviously not going to happen. Perkins has a lot of heart, a lot of resiliency, and there goes Perkins to the outside. Brian Kendrick looks a lot more aggressive today than he has in the past couple of weeks on 205 Live. The Wizard of Oz is definitely trying to get the one-up on his arch rival. We have to start thinking what's going to happen for Dallas. Who's going to face Kendrick or Perkins? I mean, Tony Nese is definitely a good candidate, but we also have Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, Montreal Sky, Lindsay Dorado, and there goes shooting star press on Perkins. Will this be able to put him away? We've seen this before by Brian Kendrick, and Perkins kicking out at 2.5. The referee's hand was going down for 3. Perkins able to kick out though. Is now, what is Brian Kendrick going for here? As now he's looking for sliced bread number 2, driving Perkins neck first into the ring. Will this be enough? Brian Kendrick to retain the championship today, and he defeats TJ Perkins. Brian Kendrick is still your Cruiserweight champion, guys. Wow. Brian Kendrick defeating TJ Perkins in quick fashion here tonight at TakeOver. As I honestly thought Perkins was going to deliver a little bit more of a fight, but I guess Samoa Joe banged him up too bad, and he was just not able to counter that sliced bread number 2. As now Brian Kendrick was absolutely relentless in this match tonight. Look at this. Just tossing Perkins right into the turnbuckle, and now there goes that sliced bread number 2 that knocked Perkins out for the rest of the match. Boom! Perkins had no response for that. Brian Kendrick with the victory today. TJP is going to be going packing to the back of the line. So now there it goes. Brian Kendrick is still the Cruiserweight champion, retaining the championship. We have had no title changes thus yet. But what will happen in our main event when Samoa Joe meets Magnus? Well, guys, it is time for the main event at NXT Takeover England, as the NXT Championship is on the line. Magnus versus Samoa Joe. And I'm honestly still trying to process the fast match that we had between Perkins and Kendrick. But here comes Magnus, as this is the man that a lot of people doubted would win the NXT Championship tournament. But he is here tonight to face off against the most dangerous man on NXT, Samoa Joe. Well, Magnus has tangled with Samoa Joe before on TNA, but this is a whole different Samoa Joe. This is not the same man that he faced years ago. Samoa Joe now is the reigning NXT champion, and he's going to bring the fight to Magnus. So I hope Magnus is ready for one hell of a battle. Magnus, of course, was signed to NXT just a month earlier, and now a month later he is facing Samoa Joe. So many big surprises. We had Kane come out before, EC3 making his debut, Brian Kendrick retaining his championship against TJ Perkins, and now it all leads to this, the huge NXT title match between Magnus and Samoa Joe. So now Magnus definitely showed that he was not going to stand down to Samoa Joe. But Samoa Joe proven on NXT that he has the one-up on Magnus by tossing him outside of the ring. The Samoa submission machine. There goes Joe right there. The NXT champion. Looking better than ever, looking more dominant than ever. With a victory over TJ Perkins on 205 Live, Samoa Joe is coming into this match with some heated momentum. Able to stop TJ Perkins in his home show. And now to come here and take over to defend the title against Magnus. This is going to be a very close affair. So now Samoa Joe just making that slow strut to the ring. And we all know what happens when Samoa Joe gets in that ring. Things go bad for other people. So the NXT champion looks absolutely prepared for domination today. I hope Magnus is ready to get destroyed by Samoa Joe, most likely. So now here goes Lillian Garcia telling the tale of the tape as she's introducing Magnus and Samoa Joe respectfully. Here goes Magnus as he looks ready. He looks very focused. Magnus is from England. This is his home. Magnus has the home field advantage to get this victory. Will he be able to defeat Samoa Joe? As Joe just looking so focused. Samoa Joe gives no care that this is Magnus's hometown. He's going to destroy Magnus. So now that NXT Championship looking so good around the shoulder of Samoa Joe. And now Joe putting it up as Magnus looks ready. Joe looks ready. And this is it, guys. This is the main event on NXT Takeover England. Magnus versus Joe. So Magnus starting out quickly with a headlock takedown as this right here is showing the respect that Magnus has for Joe. He knows that this is not going to be an easy match. As now Joe just tossing Magnus outside the ring. We saw something like that this past Wednesday on NXT. Tossing Magnus over the top rope. As now Joe just stomping onto the spine of Magnus. As Magnus now just putting down Samoa Joe. This is going to be one hell of a battle. Now Samoa Joe is off his feet right now. Now Magnus, look at that pendulum backbreaker, dropping Samoa Joe on the outside. How many times have you seen people do that to Samoa Joe? As now there goes Magnus tossing Joe into the steps, trying to soften up the NXT champion, but there's a count up to 6. Magnus needs to get back in the ring. As now he's just continuing to beat down Samoa Joe. He may get counted out here. Magnus now tossing Joe back in the ring, defeating the count. How many times did you see Samoa Joe taking off his game like he just was against Magnus? But just like that, Samoa Joe going for the attempted exploder. And now Magnus saying not today. And there goes Samoa Joe. He's in trouble. Neck breaker there by Magnus. Elevated neck breaker, I should say, to add some more impact. One thing about Magnus, he's a very strong superstar. You cannot hold back on Magnus. Even though that Samoa Joe has the clear weight advantage and strength advantage over Magnus, you cannot forget how strong Magnus is. Just waiting for Joe to get up, and there goes double axe handle to the head of the NXT champion. As Magnus looking very good in the opening of this match. He's just delivering one hell of a beatdown to Samoa Joe. And Joe needs to come back. There goes a suplex to the leg of Joe, catching the ropes on the way down. Oh, God. This is not looking good for Samoa Joe. And this right here is the advantage that Magnus has. I mean, Samoa Joe does not know much about Magnus. He has faced Magnus before, but not that many times. So pretty much this is a whole new competitor for Magnus. At least with other members of the WWE, Samoa Joe had time to get ready, but that forearm just dropping down Magnus. So as we saw earlier, Bobby Lashley won that fatal 4-way TLC match, and he will be facing the winner of this match at NXT Takeover in Dallas a month from today. As I said before on the last episode of SmackDown. I did kind of mess up on the calendar for NXT Takeover, so I promise you I'm gonna have like a little bit of a main event show in between the fourth NXT Takeover and the third NXT Takeover, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a chance to see the titles in action. And there goes Joe with a modified back suplex there, tossing Magnus to the ground. Is now Magnus taking down Samoa Joe. This is really impressive. I'm very impressed with what I've been seeing from Magnus thus far. As now Magnus measuring Joe, and there goes another double axe handle to the back of the neck this time. Samoa Joe's in a world of trouble. As now, look at this. Magnus, Michinoku driver. There goes a cover on Joe. This may be enough. Magnus may pull the upset right now, but Joe kicks out at 2.5. As now Magnus, oh God. Magnus is looking. Oh, he was going for that back suplex STO, but Samoa Joe saying not today. And there goes Uranagi slam there by the Samoa submission machine. And just like that, Samoa Joe brings the momentum in his corner, but Magnus is not staying down. There goes a jawbreaker there to the #1 contender. Magnus was looking very good before, but here comes Joe, and look at that. Elbow followed by the drop kick. Enziguri kick to the side of the head of Magnus. That might be it. But Joe not going for the cover. He's waiting, and there goes a knee to the face of Magnus. Now, Magnus rolling out of harm's way. He knows that he was in some deep trouble. Now Magnus trying to get back into this match. He suffered a lot of damage from that kick by Samoa Joe. And there goes a double chop to the throat. There's nothing pretty about that. Now here goes Magnus. Nice takedown there by the NXT champion. Is now side pseudo suplex there by Samoa Joe to Magnus. And now look at this. The crowd is not happy right now. Magnus is getting destroyed by Samoa Joe, and this is what I was afraid of. Magnus making it to the ends. He was the winner of the championship tournament, but for what? Samoa Joe is just too dominating. He's too dominant. As now Samoa Joe picking up Magnus. What does he have planned here? Is now Magnus able to counter that? As now, look at this. Samoa Joe with another takedown. As now Magnus in a world of trouble. Another back suplex there by Samoa Joe. This is kind of similar to what we saw to TJP on 205 Live. That senton right onto the abdomen of Magnus. As that right there will take your air right out of your body. It's now Samoa Joe. Look at this. What does he have planned here? Running off the ropes. There goes an enziguri right to the back of the head. Magnus's head is taking a lot of trauma in this match. Samoa Joe dragging the #1 contender to the middle of the ring. I thought he was going to probably attempt a pinfall, but instead dissecting the legs. And this was the game plan we saw against TJ Perkins on 205 Live. Samoa Joe was just taking body parts of Magnus. And now there goes a stomp to the back of the head of Magnus. As now there goes a knee drop again by Samoa Joe. The NXT champion knows he's in control right now, and Magnus needs to find something big. As now there goes a takedown there to Samoa Joe. Magnus now putting Joe down quickly, going for the cover, but Samoa Joe is going to power out of that with ease. You're going to need to do more than that to keep down the NXT champion, Magnus. There goes a shot to the gut. Samoa Joe is not going to stay down for anything. An STO there. So in the last couple of minutes, it's been straight Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe has just been showing Magnus how it is to be a #1 contender. Stomp to the abdomen, adding insult to injury after that senton. This is bad. Look at that knee bar by Samoa Joe to try to make Magnus tap out, targeting that knee that he was targeting before. And look at that, Magnus with a kick to the face. Not pretty, but effective. There goes Magnus. Another cover there on Samoa Joe, but to not get the win. Magnus will love nothing more than to get this victory, but it's going to be a lot easier said than done to beat Samoa Joe. And there goes another back suplex. Magnus is in a world of trouble, guys. I have not yet seen Magnus dominated this way, but oh, look at that jackknife cover there by Samoa Joe, keeping the hands down, and Samoa Joe with an upset victory, quickly defeating Magnus. What in the hell was that? Magnus just could not respond, as Samoa Joe quickly putting down Magnus. And that right there was the end of this match. Magnus just had nothing left. So this right here just showing the straight domination by Samoa Joe. This was not the way I was expecting to see this match end. But Samoa Joe just taking out Magnus right there. Magnus with a valiant effort in this match, but it was just not enough. As this right here, Samoa Joe hooking the arms and the legs down. Magnus just could not kick out of that as Samoa Joe leaves with the victory. But you have to think that that kick to the side of the head had some effect to Magnus. I think that injured him a little bit. As now Samoa Joe with the victory over Magnus here today is the NXT champion, reigning supreme over Magnus. Wait a minute, get out of here. That's Bobby Roode. What are you doing out here? Oh, Bobby Roode. We saw him come out before to interfere in Magnus's match. And there goes Magnus over the top rope. Oh my God. Magnus is done for. The judges' table is also out. I guess Samoa Joe destroyed it on his way out of here. But now, Bobby Roode just destroying Magnus. And look at this. Magnus is just done. Oh my God. It's Bobby Roode just... Bobby Roode is relentless right now. This is not what Magnus needed after that match. And there goes a spine buster dropping Magnus on his head. And what else does Bobby Roode have planned here? Is the referee trying to get some help for Magnus. But Bobby Roode is not stopping this attack at all. Well, the glorious superstar is definitely not acting glorious today. Oh my God, no, 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 no. No, 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 not again. Not again. Well, we don't know what happened to that first judge's table, but we know Magnus definitely went through that second one. And Bobby Roode just destroying Magnus here tonight. Well, that's NXT Takeover for you guys. Please like and subscribe, but Bobby Roode just destroyed Magnus here tonight.